Hello, welcome to my channel. I hope you're doing very well. I've had the Elektron Syntakt for a couple of weeks now, and I've been trying to figure out ways to perform with it that work nicely for YouTube videos. So in particular, we're looking at kind of dynamic performances, knob twiddling and stuff like that, in other words. And I've come up with a way of using the FX block, excuse me, the analog effects block to instantly trigger effects changes. I suppose you could refer to them as scenes, but it's very much an instant thing. It's very performative. So I'm going to show you how I've set that up now. As an example, I've just created a very simple little pattern, which sounds like that. And if I hit function and FX, you can see that I've got all of the instruments routed to the effects block. So to set this up, the first thing we're going to do is hit FX and go to Trig. So what we're looking at now is the sequencer lane for the effects track. It has its own sequencer page basically. And what we're going to do is on trig probability, we're going to turn that down to 0 because we're going to create some trigs, but we don't want the sequencer to trigger them. We just want them to be there. So by turning the probability down to 0, it just means the playhead will pass through these trigs, but nothing will happen. So now we're going to enter trig recording mode or matrix mode, whatever it's called. And we're going to hit function and we're going to create 4 parameter lock trigs. So these are trigs that you'd use for creating parameter locks, P-locks. And we're going to leave the first one as it is empty. We're not going to do anything to that because that's going to be our reset. But on the second one, I'm going to hold it down and go to the filter, and we're going to put some filter cutoff here, high pass filter. Let go of that, and then to the next one, let's change this to a low pass filter. So if we hold these two, we've got that filter here, that filter there, and then on this fourth one, let's go to the amp page and stick a load of reverb on it because it will be easy to hear. So we've now got 3 parameter locked trigs and 1 empty trig, which is our default state. So what we're going to do is let the sequencer play, and we can actually trigger these states by using the trig preview function, which basically means holding down one of the trigs and pressing yes to preview what's happening. So this is how that works. So at the moment we don't hear anything because we've got nothing previewed, but if we now press trig number 2 and yes, we can hear that the filter has engaged. And if we want to turn that off, we just press 1 and go back to our default state. Let's try our reverb trig. Yes, we can hear our reverb has come in. Reset it by pressing our default trig and previewing that. Let's try this one here, and you can go in between them. So as you can see, it's really easy to set up, and it's basically gives you a way of, if you were performing, you could create transitions. I created 4 just because this is a quick demonstration. You could create as many as you want, and by spending a bit of time, messing about creating P-locked LFOs, P-locked drive levels, different amounts of envelope, so on and so forth, you can create trigs or scenes of effects which are quite radically different and sort of vastly change the character of the sound, which you can use as a performance tool. Very simple to set up and works quite nicely. So there we go. Little trick for anyone that's performing with the Syntakt, a way of adding a bit of dynamism and control to your performances. Thanks very much for watching. I hope that was useful, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers, bye.